Hello everybody, welcome back to Sports Federation TV, and as you know by now, we talk about sport in the Western Cape, specifically sport federations that are associated with the Western Cape Sports Confederation, Provincial Sports Confederation, and of course the District Sports Councils. That's how you get onto the show. You need to be a legitimate sport. One of the legitimate sports that we're talking to this evening is the Western Province Deep Sea Angling Association, and joining me tonight is of course Chris Jacobs, the Provincial Safety Officer. Chris, nice to have you on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Chris, safety at sea must be one of the highest priorities. Before you even get to putting the bait on the hook, you've got to think about safety.
Yeah, no, it's a very huge part of deep sea angling is first to get to know how to get to sea.
Yeah.
So it's a big line of different events that you have to follow. First of all, you have to have the urge, as I said previously, and then from there on you have to grow and adapt yourself to become an angler. And become a boater. Let
me just ask you this before we talk about like the sort of the kind of the details that I'm sure everybody is interested in terms of the safety aspects of the kind of things that you should worry about when you're actually on the boat, because I think a lot of people think about that. But before you even get there, there must be several legal
requirements.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there is automatically there's a lot of legal requirements. First of all, is like having to drive a motor vehicle.
Yeah.
You have to first obtain the necessary qualifications and licenses for that.
Yeah.
The same also, the craft that you use also has the same as a motor vehicle, has to have a COF, Certificate of Fitness.
Yes.
Which is a vast experience to have, and different aspects of safety is been taken up in both aspects of your qualifications.
And okay, so before one gets to the boat itself, is it like getting, like you mentioned yourself, like getting a driver's license? You've got to go through tests and so forth.
We in the Western Cape, as we are appointed by the South African Marine Safety Association.
Yeah.
And with that, we have qualified lecturers and examiners. We have to attend a 2-day period course with SAMHSA to become a lecturer on laid down specifications and regulations. And the same with an examiner. You have to attend another 3-day course. So to become an examiner is a 5-day course approved by SAMHSA and passed by SAMHSA. And as we call it, the surveyor and lecturer is another 2-day course that you have to attend and pass.
Just give us a SAMHSA, South African
Marine Safety Association.
South African Marine Safety Association.
They are the people that are controlling the total ocean.
Right, okay. All right, so once you get into that space there now, let's talk about your job specifically as the Provincial Safety Officer. And you're obviously connected to the provincial sports structure. How does that roll out for you as a sports administrator?
We are in charge of all of the clubs and all the recreational anglers. Okay. In the whole Western Cape.
Right.
That it now goes right from the Namibian border right up to past Setsikama.
Okay, so
that is basically the area that we cover.
Do the clubs have to apply
the clubs automatically become a member of the Western Province Deep Sea Angling Association.
Yeah.
And through them, we are then affiliated to the National Council of South African Deep Sea Angling Association, which have been an appointed agent of SAMHSA to handle all the boating aspects, because our boats are all being under 9 meters and less than 25 tons.
All right, so you're like the chief doctor, like for example at Western Province Rugby, they'll have the head doctor, but underneath him he'll have a management team.
Yes.
Like talent scouts.
Yes. Now
so
we have.
You send your guys out to go look?
Now we have 9 different clubs, and they each have got their safety officers and the safety portfolio.
Yeah.
And then we keep record at the Western Province Secretariat of all the boats that have been surveyed. All club members have to, if they go to sea and they become a member, they have to obtain a skipper's ticket number, which is allocated to each and every member of the association.
Is it true that you sneak out at night to go and look to see if they're all behaving themselves?
No, that job we leave to the South African police. They do it quite frankly, and they do it quite good.
But that's the kind of thing that can happen. I mean, no one takes any chances when it comes to sea.
We sometimes attend different launch sites, as there are very vast numbers of launching sites approved by SAMHSA. We sometimes in our spare time, if you're on holiday, you look at the launch site, you go and look if the boats that launch there, if they comply with the necessary regulations.
Let's talk about that in terms of compliance, in terms of the boat itself. I mean, that's what everybody wants to know. When you look at the boat, what's the kind of obvious things that you're looking at? Flares and life jackets, and or is it
with boating, you need something to float, first of all.
Yeah.
Once it floats, you must know there's certain aspects and certain requirements for it to float.
Hence the saying, whatever floats your boat.
That's correct.
Yes.
Therefore, now with the flotation that's been brought in the last couple of years, it must maintain a platform for you to be saved and rescued.
Yeah.
So different crafts and different, like a rubber duck and rigid, have got different qualifications and requirements to create a flotation basis for you to be able to be rescued.
What about the other safety aspects? Things like, I don't know, I imagine things like certain gaffs and hooks and things are dangerous.
Well, that doesn't, unfortunately, doesn't become part of the safety aspects.
Yeah, okay.
We mainly concentrate on the flotation and of your hull, the structure of your hull, the quality of your boats. You know, we get boats and boats.
Yeah.
And you get them to float for a certain amount of time. Then they start to absorb water, and they become a very, very, very great risk out at sea.
Do you look at things like radio communication and so forth?
Radio communication, now that you've mentioned this, is a very big aspect at the moment, because SAMHSA brought out a ruling 2 years ago that we must all now be fitted with VHF DSC capable abilities.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we all the years use the 29 megs. That has now been stopped because they're not monitoring it anymore. And now we are moved over to VHF. In the Cape Province, we've always used the VHF and the compliance license, but we never used to go to digital DSC, because that automatically gives you a call sign where you are immediately. Once you've spoken on the radio, they can actually pick up exactly where your position is. So they implemented DSC now worldwide, but at the moment there's not enough stations able to monitor everything. So everything's like on hold. It was first of all being 1st of January 2017. It's now moved over to 2019.
Is that a triangulation signal or is it satellite?
That is satellite.
Satellite. Okay. So I mean that's quite important from an NSRI point of view in case something goes wrong.
That's right.
I mean I think part of the point where I'm trying to get to is for people who want to get on a boat, people who want to go and become part of Western Province deep sea angling and they want to start participating in the sport, there's a safety process in place, and people mustn't be afraid to go boating.
No, you know, it's not only for Western Province. We, as Western Province chaps like myself, are also being appointed by SAMHSA.
Yeah.
So we sit on the same council as the SAMHSA, and all information, we all got a uniformed basis that we all must work for, and the rules that we must adhere to.
We've got a video here. Let's take a quick look at the video, folks. We've got a couple of minutes. We're really going to start running tight on time here, but let's take a look at some of the elements from the Western Province Deep Sea Association.
Good day, my name is Chris Jacobs. I'm the Provincial Safety Officer for the Western Province Deep Sea Angling Association. For the public who always likes to have a look at the boating, it's the easiest way to become a member of one of the member clubs of the association. Therefore, you get exposed to not only boating, you get exposed to camaraderie, safety, fishing, and all the aspects. We have the starter, which is the category E and R manual, that will show you everything that is required regarding boating. From there on, you can promote to category C and B. In the basic boating, you have the boat as explained. Within the boat, you have to have certain safety requirements. I'm just going to show you certain of them. I'm not going to go in and explain each and every product. It's the smoke flare that you can have, which gets activated and chucked into the water in case for people to obtain and see you. Then we have the red parachute flare, which you can use to attract attention. Then we also have a small handheld flare, which is also there for attention. All the safety equipment is carried in a canister. I can show you on the life jackets. Life jackets are also there in different categories, whereas they are marked for different categories and different distances from the ocean. To be able to have a safe journey, it must be able to float. To go into the aspects what is required of this piece of equipment to float will take many, many, many hours. That's why we are fortunate to have 11 qualified safety officers in all our clubs right through the province.
Right, folks, there you saw it for yourself firsthand, one of the boats and some of the technical aspects around it. Chris, baie van haar goed was oor flotation.
Ja, dit is maar basies waaroor dit gaan, is om vir jou 'n platform te gee dat jy veilig op die see is. Ons is almal geneig om vinnig op te klim en te ry, maar as jy veilig is, daar iets met jou gebeur. En dis 'n oseaan waar dan nie die volgende 5 minute 'n taxi by jou kan verbygaan of iemand jou net kan help nie.
But talking about people, just wrapping it up now, talking about other organizations that support you, if something does go wrong, there are, of course, rescue, NSRI, maybe just what are the supporting bodies around you in terms of government structure, provincial structure, civil society?
You know, with us as ski boaters, we automatically support each other. They always got a saying is, if you break down alongside the road, the first chap will stop as a ski boater. Then the second thing is, you know, we've got the NSRI.
Yeah.
We've got a very well equipped NSRI in our areas. I've been saved by them as well a couple of many years ago, but the structures have always been there. A ski boater immaterial, if you remember a club, a recreational, whatever it is, they will always, commercials, they will come to your rescue without any delay.
All right, Chris, well, I know we didn't see any fishing, but I think tonight we were talking more about the safety factor, and I'm happy to say that I feel like Western Province deep sea angling has got the safety of our fishermen out there under control. So to you and the boys and to Lee and the boys, well done, congratulations, and we look forward to following your progress.
Thank you very much for the time.
All right, folks. Thanks. There we go, folks. Right, we've now covered a number of sports. Remember, you are watching Sports Federation TV, and we do look at the various sports in and around the Western Cape. When we come back, we'll touch on table tennis, and then shortly after that, it's the Eden Sports Awards that was held in George last week, Friday. Back in a moment.